So the eating thing and going without food is actually part of the human experience. If you think about how we evolved as a species, there were some days where you didn't eat.
Right.
You couldn't find food, you couldn't hunt. And so that actually is a part of the process. That's where like intermittent fasting and even fasting for that matter, it has benefits because your body needs to function without food. Like if we always needed 3 meals a day, we would not have lived as a species. So there's definitely benefits, and our bodies have adapted to that. Now, when it comes to sleep, evolutionarily, we've never really needed to stay up all the time for days on end. If you are, chances are, from looking at it from a nervous system perspective, you're in danger. That'd be the only survival reason why you would stay up past when you're tired.
Right.
You're in danger. You need to keep running. You need to keep moving. There's a different tribe that's trying to kill you on your butt, and you're trying like moving forward, or there's like you're in a dangerous environment.
Are you being hunted by wolves or something?
Or you're at war.
Or at war.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a trauma response to continue to stay up.
Okay.
I understand it from like where you're coming from like the mental toughness side of things.
Right.
But that's not healthy at all.
It's not.
Yeah, I don't feel.
So if I were, would you recommend is a good amount of sleep per day?
Everybody's different actually, and that matters. Depending on, there's a guy called the sleep doctor, and he has these 4 different like animals he calls them, and this is how your biological rhythms operate and how you should sleep, whether that's how much sleep you get, when to wake up, when to eat throughout the day, when you're most productive, because there's these 4 systems that he's found that, for example, some person's a night owl, one person's early bird, right? That's biological. It's not necessarily by choice. It can be, and you can change yours, but he found, I think it was like a lion, a dolphin, a bear, and a wolf. And I forgot the graph. Y'all got to look it up and leave in the show notes or something. But that was very eye-opening for me. And I started roughly following that. And my productivity went up. I started feeling well-rested because I wasn't fighting my body's clock.
Okay.
I was going with it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, for example, like I know a lot of people that shame themselves for being night owls because they want to get up and be on their grind and wake up at 5 a.m. and do that thing because it's the thing to do right now, I think. And then I'm talking to these people and they're like, yeah, I get so many creative downloads at night and all the creativity just flows and but I want to go to sleep because I want to wake up in the morning. And I'm like, and what, be productive? You're being productive at night and you're literally getting downloads. That's your prime time. You need to honor that.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it's, humans have this thing with control. We like to control things. And talking about the whole being grounded bit, sometimes it's just going with the flow.
Right.
And controlling what you can, and also what you should to some extent, right? Like the whole controlling your, I went down the rabbit hole of controlling my nutrition for almost a decade. And sure, did it serve me to look a certain way? Yeah, but I was miserable. Right? Yeah. So it's like every choice that we make in life, you're sure getting something, but you're also sacrificing something else.
Dude, I agree. Like, I follow this one guy called Sadhguru. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he gets a lot of like criticism for like certain things, but I think he's like also one of those guys that is just like don't listen to me. Like, you know, like I'm just whatever. I'm a guru, but like I'm not perfect. I'm not whatever. Right. Like, you know, follow you. But he always talks about like, yeah, like there are things that are gonna happen to you. Like, you can't control everything that happens to you, right? Everything that happens to you, it's like out of your control, but you can control like how you respond to it and what you're doing. So it's like you said, you know, like just let it keep staying grounded. Yeah. I like that very much. Yeah. So yeah, what else you want to talk about? You said biohacking. You were a nomad, so like can you tell us about that? Like how to?
Yeah, that was a crazy journey. I mean, I traveled the world from my backpack. It's a carry-on. And so I don't ever, I don't check
dude,
anything.
I saw the video you posted, dude. Like that's so. I learned so much from that video.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I saw the rings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like all the like little gadgets you had.
I have more biohacking gadgets than I do clothes, and I live out of a backpack. Like, I have like 4 outfits, and that's it. It's like, wear the same thing
Minimalism.
all the time. But yeah, it's extreme minimalism. And I took this route really in my life of detachment, or you could say non-attachment, minimalistic,
Attachment.
because the first part of my life was so riddled with attachment. You know, I was codependent. I was super attached to trying to control things out of my control, or even that were in my control. I was grasping for some sense of certainty. And the truth is, there's not a lot of certainty. You know, a lot of things that we try to rest our certainty in, like a job or a house or a relationship, or even a routine, it could change at the drop of a hat. And 2020 taught a lot of us that. I hope people caught that lesson. But for me, I learned it the hard way. I learned it by losing all the things that I was attached to, where it kind of forced me in this direction. You know, I've lost friends. I've lost people that were close to my heart. I've lost my fitness and my body that I got from a decade worth of fitness. And in a lot of that, I just really developed this psyche of detachment. I think attachment's poison. The second you get attached to something, it controls you.
Yeah.
And I value freedom more than I value certainty. And there's not a lot of certainty in living a free life. So that's, you know, going back to the grounding bit. How well can you float? How well can you surrender? I'm going to be present in the moment. And yeah, sure, I'm going to direct my life, but it's a co-creation with the universe.
Right.
I'm going to see what shows up. And before, there wasn't any of that. It was like, this is what's going to happen. Sheer willpower. And it was met with so much resistance because I wasn't sitting with what was. And I was so attached to the outcome of things that I wasn't even being present in the moment. I was destination addiction, right? Oh, and then when I get this thing, everything's gonna be great.
Right.
Get the thing, there was another goal.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you get to the top of the mountain, it's a false peak, there's another top. There's another goal after you hit that. And it's just a dangerous trap to get into. So I kind of embodied it with being a nomad, and like, your things are things, you know? The body that you have, the friends that you have, the space that you live in, the clothes that you're wearing, the gadgets you have, all of it is just here to rent. Like, you're gonna die. We're all gonna die. That's a given.
Right. 100%.
And so instead of attaching to it as part of your identity, what I did was shift my identity to being certain in myself and kind of doing some of that inner work. And I let go of all the things that used to control me, as almost like this challenge for myself to be okay in the uncertainty. Because that's a dangerous place to get to in the best of ways. When somebody could be okay with an overwhelming amount of uncertainty in their life, game over. If you can stay present in that, meaning you don't start freaking out and what if and what does this mean about this,
Right.
and you're able to just trust the process and be grounded with a clear mind and a level heart, that to me is true freedom. Actually, it's the definition of nirvana. Nirvana means to be in control of your nervous system.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Nirvana means to be in control of.
I forgot who said that. That's a quote. But yeah, nirvana is nirvana. Think about it. Nerves.
Oh my God, I never even thought of that.
It's being in control of your nervous system. That was the quote. I don't think it's control. I think it's a resilient nervous system. Your nervous system is so resilient that no matter how much stress you're putting on it, it doesn't rock you off your center. It doesn't shoot you into a trauma response. You don't go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which are the trauma responses. You're able to stay regulated. And in that space is presence, and that's true power.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everyone is talking about that. Like the what's that book, The Power of Now? Have you read that?
I haven't read it.
You
No.
haven't read it? Yeah. I mean, everyone talks about it, but like, yeah, everyone is always just like staying in the present, staying in like the moment. And I think that like, with everything going on, it's like, I think kind of this whole pandemic situation has kind of like slowed people down a bit.
Yeah.
A lot. It's grinding things to
Forced
a
us to,
halt, you know?
yeah.
But it's crazy. Just the whole world, like the whole world is just like kind of like, yeah, like this shock to the nervous system, shock to like what we're
Right.
doing.
2020 was a breeze for me.
It was a breeze for
It
you.
was
yeah?
a breeze. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. 2019 was my shock.
Really?
For
Why?
me
Can you-
personally. Yeah, I almost overdosed on San Pedro. I went into a psychotic break. I was $110,000 in debt overnight.